Very awesome. You a lot of you going down.
Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Tuesday, December 16th. It is 6:26 right now. We have market opening up in about 4 minutes. So if you guys look at the list of the trades for today, a lot of them are very similar to yesterday, which is a good thing. You want there to be consistency with the entries. Um, Going down the list right now, there's a few that changed, like very few. Um, and it's mostly like towards the end of the session. I think there's only like maybe, yeah, there's maybe like two or three added entries to it. But yeah, for the most part, this is going to be our first target entry for the day. So first target entry right here is going to have a 7.26 max drawdown, 60% probability of it winning, profit factor of 2.886, which is really good. Looking over here at the long side, it's 50%, and the short side is 75%. So this looks like a pretty good target entry. First one coming up. The first listed entry is uh, is going to be same as yesterday. So, and today was NFP, guys. Very, very weird that they decided to release the NFP data today. I know Saran mentioned this before. Um, but yeah, the NFP data came out today, December 16th. You can see big spike in price at 5:30, obviously. Very weird for NFP data to come out on a Tuesday. So we had a lot of news come out this morning. We had NFP, we had jobs data, we had retail sales, we had just a lot of stuff come up over here. And then we have some medium impact news at 7 o'clock. So it's kind of a weird day with regard to economic news. You guys can see price pretty much spiked up, came right back down, corrected. It's pretty much balanced out from that move based off the news. And we'll see where price moves on open. So we'll see what happens here. Um, Morning, Daniel. Morning, Karen. Morning, Ed. Morning, Barack. Morning, Rev. Morning, Masij. Morning, Lila. Morning, Patricia. Patricia said, need to be careful. Red news at 9:45, 3 minutes before entry. Okay, let me check that real quick. Yeah, Paul said servers are back with FTMO. Okay, good to know. No, awesome. Patricia said there was news coming up before the entry. Um, hmm, let's see. I don't see it over here. Oh, building up to it. Let me see if there's anything else that I'm missing in Forex Factory. Okay, so I see it here now. We have flash manufacturing PMI right before. Okay, thanks, Patricia, for the heads up on that one. It wasn't on my FX book, but it was here on Forex Factory. So we'll see how market reacts to this. Obviously, if there's a big market reaction, might want to be careful with the entry. So thanks, Patricia, for the heads up on that one. Gotcha. Okay, cool. If you guys are looking to take the breakout, it is going to be a sell if you're going with momentum. It's not a target entry or listed entry, so if you want to take it, it's just going to be a normal breakout if you guys are looking to jump into that. But yes, it is going to be a sell if you're looking to go with momentum. Ashish is testing a new automated system today that finds and sets limit orders and figures out best time to exit. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, definitely. Ashish, that's awesome. If you find that, that'd be great. And it's good to forward test it during live markets too. All right, guys. So market is now open right here. Price spiked up. It pretty much did exactly what was happening over here for the news. Whenever you have heavy impact news like this, we usually don't take a breakout because you really don't know where price can go. Um, so let's see. Yeah, the price from NFP was about a 100 point move right there. And this opening candle is about 100 points as well. So let's take a look at the current candles right now. You guys can see it's a little mixed. Yeah, it's definitely a little mixed right here. Not necessarily a bad thing, but yes, it is a little mixed. Looks pretty bullish right there. So we got price kind of pushing up right now. Everything's looking kind of bullish at the moment, except for the 4 hour, but the 4 hour does have a nice wick off the bottom end right there. So we'll uh we'll keep following it. We'll see if the momentum holds. There's no listed entries for a bit, so hang tight. Hey CJ, morning. Morning, Justice. Morning, everybody. All right, looks like everybody's here. Morning, Sam. All right, guys. So looking at the market so far, overall trend right now is currently mixed. You can see over here in the lower time frames, it was bearish, now turning bullish. Higher time frames are bullish. So we'll see where this ends up taking us. But yeah, it looks like, I mean, for the most part, I just realized this thing wasn't right. This is supposed to be on the 4 hour. There we go. Okay, so it's actually all bullish right now. So it's bullish across the board on the higher time frames here, along with the 1 minute. So it looks like price may continue to hold to the upside, but we'll keep following it and see where it ends up going. Um, but yeah, we have no entries coming up shortly. We had a couple minutes until the first target entry or first listed entry comes up. So we'll be looking for that there. Meanwhile, we'll just see price here as it continues to move along. So anyways, looking at the overall trend, like I said, it's pretty mixed here. The lower time frames were bearish, turning bullish. Higher time frames are bullish. They've been bullish for a while. Looking over here at the market structure is neutral on the 1 minute and 5 minute. It's bullish on the 15, 30, 1 hour, and 4 hour. So it's for the most part bullish long term. Price is rejecting off the sessions right here. So what we might get is a choppy back and forth between the sessions right here. That's what we might get. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, you can see the nice wicks right here rejecting off the Asia high. And we'll come back and take a look at that in a few. So now looking over here at market structure with regard to market profile, you guys can see over here that the I don't know why the candle is still black. It should be red. Okay, so here is the daily candle. You can see price is trying to push up. And this is price kind of stuck right here at the value high off the market profile. So one of two things may happen here. Price may reject off this point, come back down to the point of control. Vice versa, price may break above it and then push up to the previous value high from yesterday. We don't know exactly what's going to happen here, but there's a couple things there to maybe look at as price continues to obviously bounce around. But yeah, if price rejects off this point, price may come back down, retrace to the point of control. Looking at the orb for today, so the orb is still currently setting up right now if you guys are looking at it. If price does break below this point, it may come back to the previous orb range from yesterday. But we'll just kind of follow and see where this ends up going. But yeah, for this orb over here, we'll see how that kind of pushes through. Not one of the entries we're looking at, but we'll see. So the entry coming up over here is going to be against momentum for a buy. It's probably going to be a no entry because we do have a buy signal here already. Let me make sure I have my alert set up real quick. YM. All right, so we got this activated. We'll see when the momentum comes up. But all right, we got the setup coming up in a little bit, but it's not looking like we're going to get it. So I'll just call it out. The entry over here at 637 is going to be coming up soon. But it's not looking like it's going to be an entry. It's going to be a no entry there. Reason for that's because it's for a buy. So it has a max drawdown of 7.64, overall probability of 50%, buys at 50, sells at 50, profit factor of 1.987, and the directions for a buy. Reason for this here not to set up is because we currently have a buy signal already active. And in order for you to go against momentum, you need to have an opposite sell signal here available before looking to get into that entry. However, the buys and the sells are both at 50%. So if you wanted to go for the sell here, you possibly could. Um, it really goes either direction. So if you really want to take the trade here at 637, you can take it for a sell. But, like I said, I'm always going to weigh towards buys. That's always going to be my bias. Like if it's at 50-50, I'm always going to weigh towards buys. But if you want to take the sell here, it's available. So not a target entry, just a listed entry, and it's also against momentum. So it's not exactly the type of entry I'd be looking to get into. We got the momentum here that just came up. So penny momentum there for a sell. And guys, just a head up. So I did talk with the regulators yesterday regarding, Kodikai Trades, which is the strategy side of the company. Kodikai Capital is the hedge fund side. They do want me to take down the website. So they want me to take down the entire website. I think um, I'm probably not going to take down the website, but what I'll have to do is I'll have to take off the sign up. So there's no longer going to be a sign up here for Cody Kai Trading Room. Nothing from right here. This is probably going to change. It's going to say that we're no longer accepting new clients to use the strategies and stuff like that. If you guys want access to it, so say for example, if you don't have access to the indicators or the Discord, this is your time to sign up to get access to it because once I take it off, you're not going to be able to sign up for it. I mean, you guys could probably reach out to me and I can probably maybe, an under the table sign up type thing. But for the most part, they want me to take the whole website down because they don't want me to be sharing my strategies with the public. I mean, I don't know how serious it is, but yeah, basically that's what they want. They want me to take this down. They want me to take the social media down. They want me to take we didn't really talk about the YouTube, but what I really have to do is just I have to stop soliciting, like stop offering access to the strategies and stuff like that. So just a heads up, not to scare you guys, but yeah, that's kind of like the route we're going here because I'm mainly focusing on the hedge fund side of things. And in order for them to approve my hedge fund, to continue operations, I need to basically shut down the Cody Kai trade side of things. If you guys are already part of Cody Kai trades, it's perfectly fine. We came to an agreement that whoever has access to it will continue to have access to it, but it's just new people can't get access to it. So just just a heads up, if because this thing's probably gonna come down over the next couple of days. You're not gonna be able to sign up for Discord or the live sessions, and you're not gonna be able to sign up for the strategies, that's for sure. Um, yeah, I basically have to confirm with them within the next day or two that I've taken everything down before we can move forward with StoneX and stuff like that with the hedge fund, which is okay. I mean, that was my plan to begin with, right? My plan was to stop sharing strategies anyways, so it's not going to be a big change. It's just they're really serious about it. All right, so right here, guys, is the 737 entry. Like I said, if you wanted to take it for a sell, you could have because it was for a 50-50. So it didn't really matter if you're looking for a buy or a sell here. Um, when the probabilities are equal, or if it's really, really close, then you can really take it either direction. But for myself personally, I typically look for, I mean, buys obviously because YM typically goes up. So the trade here did hit. Um, if you guys decided to take it. I'm not documenting the against momentum, but we're just going to put here. It was a win, but no trade. Yeah, because I don't take the against momentums. Again, we have high impact news coming up at 6:45, guys. So once that news comes up, we'll see if the target entry is going to be a valid entry. Otherwise, it's just nothing to take. So you guys can see over here with the momentum, it did follow through and it did look like a nice sell because everything did push down. And it aligned with the entry here for the sell. So we'll see what happens here as price moves along. Like I said over here for the orb, if you guys are looking to take the orb, it's going to push down into this previous orb level, which it did, right? Previous orb levels right there. That was kind of what I anticipated. I see this happen a lot. Orbs will push into the previous orb levels, probably bounce off it, push right back up. Well, we'll see what happens in a few. You look over here at market structure, it's currently neutral on the 1 minute, bearish on the 5, bullish on the 15, 30, 1 hour, and 4 hour. So we'll see where this ends up going. This looks like a pretty big support area right here. So we'll see what happens here next. All right. Yeah, Brock said eyeing for the 400 mark. Bullish indeed. I wonder what's going to happen to the higher time frame because there's a little protection on that high, but a buy takes high. Yeah, no, I agree with you too, Brock. Well, we'll see. But anyways, I'm waiting for the news here at 6:45. Dijon said I was planning on signing back up on Monday. Just be in touch with me, Dijon. Message me on the Discord. As much as I want to make it available to you guys, I just have to take down the stuff on the public website. So yeah, since you've been with the group before, Dijon, I can get you back in. It's because your information's already in the system. Um, it's just for new people. So just message me on Discord, Dijon. We can get you back in, no problem. It's mainly for new people. They just don't want me to solicitate, like they don't want me to make it public, like this algo stuff that we're doing and explaining how stuff works. And because I've been doing a ton of research on like hedge funds, and like I said before, like the um the uh the regulators are really strict about this stuff. I don't know if you guys ever try to search up hedge funds and how they trade, like specifically how they trade, not just like theories, but like how the actual strategies are kind of explained and stuff like that. You're never going to find anything. Like I tried my hardest to find stuff to kind of help with our trading, but there's nothing there. There's a lot of theories and there's a lot of interviews of people who run hedge funds and create strategies and stuff like that, but they don't tell you exactly what they're doing. They just kind of give you an idea. Like they say they're a quant trader or they say they're a systematic trader or stuff like that, or a fundamentalist. But they don't tell you what they're looking for and the criteria and that type of stuff. Yeah, Daniel said they don't want the common folks making money. Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's very secretive, which I mean it makes sense, right? If you do a lot of research on alpha, which is like basically your edge, the alpha decay is real. Like the more people who use a certain strategy, the less profitable it is and the less consistent it is, right? Like this thing with the orb, we talked about this yesterday. The orb has periods where it's really good, where a lot of people and then a lot of people will jump onto the orb because it's a really easy strategy. But then when it becomes popular, it stops working, right? Like right now, I feel like the orb hasn't really been working very much lately. You'd have to have like some specific way of applying it. But if you look at the orbs for the past couple days, they've all been flopping for the most part. You have to have like very, very specific criteria to apply the orb, like a criteria that other people aren't using. Um, because if you just do basic break and close or break and retest, that stuff is not consistent. As much as I like the orb, it's not very consistent. All right, so we have news right here at 6:45, guys. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, so we got news right here at 6:45. It was negative. All right, so negative news there. I'm trying to see how it reacts. So I'm just gonna put a line here, see how price reacted to it. Talanji is asking, even the training videos. No, so if you guys are in the premium already, or you guys have access to the strategies to launch, you guys are perfectly fine. This just goes to new people who are looking at to use the strategies or understand the strategies or get into it. I basically, what the regulators want me to do is they just want me to take off the option to sign up. That's like the main thing. They said the website's okay. It's just like they want me to take the like the ability to like down here to sign up. They want me to take all this stuff off because they don't want anybody to anyone new to jump into it. Because I told them we've been around for years. It's not like this is brand new where I'm teaching people stuff what I'm doing now. Basically, it's just my strategies from the past. They're just they're just quantified now. So, yeah, for those of you who are already in the group, you guys are perfectly fine. There's nothing to worry about. You guys are okay. It's just for new people in general. I just don't want the general public to be aware of like, what we're doing here, which is cool because I don't want people to know what we're doing either. I'd rather just keep this with in between us. I continue to work on the algo with Masij and whoever helps with it, and we just keep building from there. Yeah, because once the data is all pulled in, we have like the perfect parameters for the specific strategy. I think this is going to be pretty. It's going to be pretty crazy how 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 much this is going to improve over time. And then if we don't share this with the public, then our alpha is just never going to decay. And if it does decay, we're going to be able to bounce back and fix where changes need to be made over time. So we have a pending momentum right here, guys. The entry coming up next is the target entry. I'm not going to say the exact time. You guys already know where that is, but we're probably not going to have an entry if this candle here closes, or even if this candle doesn't close and we have another pending momentum over the next couple candles. It's probably going to be a no entry. Right? So we'll see how this ends up coming up. I think it's going to close, oh, it looks like it's going to. But the entry right here is it is with momentum. It has a 7.26 max drawdown. You can see right here has a 60% probability of it winning either direction for a buy or a sell, and has a profit factor of 2.886. This is the same exact entry we took yesterday, and there's going to be a no entry there, guys. So no entry at 648 for the first target entry. Again, the reason for that is because it is for a sell with momentum, and the momentum right now is currently a buy. So no entry here, and it looks like we're having a reaction to the news anyway. So the news happened right here at 6:45, and we had this big push to the upside to wipe everybody out who chased that sell, right? So I mean, it's actually a good thing that we're not taking this trade. And thanks to Patricia for giving us the heads up earlier, because obviously this here had a very strong reaction to it. So, but this was a good entry. This was the same entry we took yesterday. If you look over here at the statistics, it's been on a roll, right? It's been pretty high right now. It has a total profitability of 48.10%. This is big because it only has a max drawdown of 7.26. So if you took this trade every single day, basically, um, it'd be 24,000 profit. Or if you want to go by percentages, 48%. That's huge, right? So, I mean, there goes that. There's no target entries for like the next 20 or 30 minutes or so. So we don't have anything coming up anytime soon. But again, this entry is going to be a no entry because we were looking for a sell with momentum, and there's a buy momentum here. So unfortunately, no entry there. If you want to take the buy, I mean, you can, but I personally wouldn't take it. Looking over here at the statistics for buys, it only has a 50% probability of it winning. So it won 6 out of the previous 12. So basically 50-50. So I mean, if you like those odds, feel free to take the buy there. But obviously, I'd go for the sells here. It has a 75% probability for sells. It won 6 out of the previous 8. And the trade we took yesterday was for a sell. So, all right, nothing there. Yeah, no entry. Yeah, if you guys wanted to take it, we'll follow it. We'll see where it ends up going. It looks like it's pushing up pretty nice. So this was the entry right here, 648. Looks like the 40 is already on its way up. If you're going for that 60 there, we'll follow it. I'm just not in the position here. Sam said, "Best of luck, Sean. You've been a very good mentor and inspiration. Wishing to keep the YouTube analysis." So the YouTube will probably still be up, Sam. I think you're subscribed to the channel, right? So if you're subscribed to the channel, then you'll still get emails when I go live, even if it's unlisted. So if it's unlisted, you'll still get emails that I'm going live. So you should still be able to jump on, Sam. So yeah, you should still be able to jump on. There's no problem. It's just for the general public, right? Like they don't want me to be like putting it out there to the general public. So you should be good, Sam. Um, And if you're on the Discord, so I don't know if you're on the Discord, Sam, but if you are on the Discord, I'll still post the links here. So again, if you guys like, I'm trying to keep things the way they are now, but I don't want to. I'm trying to keep it, sort of under the covers. Basically, I'll still post the links here on the Discord. So again, if you guys still want to see the YouTube or whatever stream that's around, I'll still post the links here, but it's not going to be like open to the general public so that I don't get picked up by the YouTube algorithm, right? Because what happens sometimes is the YouTube algorithm will pick up my video and it'll just push it to the public and then anybody could come and watch it. So everybody who's here right now, I'm gonna try what I can to keep it available to you guys. But for the most part, yeah, I mean it just depends because if the regulators see it and then they want me to take down more stuff, I kind of have to kind of work with them and see what they need me to do. But yeah, uh, hopefully you can keep joining, Sam. Because I mean you've been a help too, of course. Your analysis, even though it conflicts with mine sometimes, it does help kind of give us caution to our analysis and stuff like that. Yeah, Jesus said the strats are usually trade secrets or patented intellectual property. Yeah. I tried to get an IP on the momentum strategy, but you can't really strategy. You can't get IP on actual code. So what happens is with a lot of people, they have to sign NDAs. That's usually what it is. But the problem is if you get someone to sign an NDA and they're not from the US, it's hard to enforce it. Like so my first coder was actually from Nigeria. So my first coder a long, long time ago was from Nigeria who helped me produce or produce the first version of the momentum indicator. And with him, like I couldn't get him to sign an NDA because it'd be impossible to enforce it for him, right? Because he's like in Nigeria, he's like in a village there where I can't, I don't know where he is. Um, I'm kind of curious what happened with him because I mean, I haven't heard from that guy since I think 2024, 2023. He was actually in these lives with us. He was very quiet because he didn't speak English, but he was here, so he knew what we were doing. I paid him pretty good too. Like he was living it up. It was funny because he was living in a small village in Nigeria, but I had him on Instagram, so like he lived in a small village, but he had all the cool things, right? So I paid him pretty well, and he had like everything he wanted. So I don't know. Maybe he's just living a simple life out there now. Anyways, guys, there's no entries here right now. We had an overlap entry which came up over here for a sell at 650. It was a no entry as well. The 650 was actually pretty good too. I'm gonna look at it right now. It was a no entry, but yeah, it was for a sell as well. So if you guys are looking at the list at 650, there was another entry for with momentum. It was for a sell. It had an 8.17 max drawdown. 60% overall, 58.33 for buys, and 62.50 for sells. Again, it's a no entry because it was for a sell, but we had a buy signal here at 650. Looks like the sell that would have played out. So the algorithm did identify that the sell here would have been good, but there was just no sell signal there. We have another one coming up right now, actually, it's another no entry. So it looks like we're getting a lot of no entries for today. There's one right here at 654. It again is with momentum. It has a 6.97 max drawdown. It has an overall probability of 50%, buys for 66 and sells for 25. It has a profit factor of 1.980. Again, if you guys are not familiar or you guys don't know what I'm talking about, let me just put the criteria up here. These are the criteria for the entry. It's not very difficult if you understand what I'm talking about. I'll kind of give a breakdown of like what I'm talking about and why this stuff matters. Um, I mean, I guess I'd give you guys an explanation right now because there's no there's no entries coming up for like the next 20 minutes. So basically, the numbers that I'm calling out, when I say max drawdown, I'm looking for max drawdown of at least under 10%. If it's under 10%, it tells us that there's never more than five back-to-back losses, right? Because I'm doing a 2% risk per trade. So with this being the case, this is the minimum criteria for it to be a listed entry. And in order for it to be a target entry, it has to have less than an 8% max drawdown. This means that there's never more than four back-to-back losses. The profitability here that we're looking at is We need about a 50 to 60 for minimum criteria, but for a target entry, I'm looking for a 55 to 60. This shows us that the strategy is consistent and it's not like losing, winning, right? It's winning more than it's losing because we're doing a 1 to 2 risk to reward. So we need above a 33% probability for it to actually be profitable, right? So if it has above a 55, percent, then this is going to indicate that it has a pretty good probability, right? Because anything above 33 is going to be profitable. Anything above 50, 55, 60, etc., is going to be really good because that basically gives you, a 2 to 3% profit factor. And then lastly, the profit factor over here, the minimum criteria is 1.5. This shows you that for every loss, you'll have 1.5 wins, right? And then for a target criteria, we need it to be above 2. This means that for every loss, there's going to be 2 wins. And that means that if you have one loss, because we're doing a 1 to 2 risk to reward, you have 4 wins basically. And that's what we're trying to get across here. That's why the criteria, this is what I'm calling out. If you guys listen to what I'm saying, we're going with momentum, and then the max drawdown is the most important. And then we're looking at the profitability, and then we're looking at the profit factor. These should all line up. If you have a low max drawdown, then your profitability should be decent. And if your profitability to max drawdown is decent, your profit factor should be close to 2, if not higher. They all go align with each other. So like, you're usually just looking for one thing. And if the one thing is really good, the other should align with it. The main thing I look for most trades is going to be win rate, probability, because if this here is good above 55 or 60, usually the max drawdown is good and the profit factor is good as well. So I usually look for this first, and then these usually align with it, or they might be off by a few points. So the entry at 654, again, it was with momentum over here for a buy. We had a sell momentum right here, so there was no entry. Uh, Next entry is going to be a target entry. It's going to be coming up in about 20 minutes or so. Yeah, it's going to be coming up in about 20 minutes or so. Yeah, Masij said we can pull a new strategy of the many that we will find. We'll never run out. Yeah, exactly, Masij. So the cool thing here is that so we still have a lot of other strategies, right? It's just the momentum strategies is like like what we're doing now, the momentum algo. This is like the nucleus, right? So we have one strategy here and we can like veer off into other things. Like we can include trend and that's a completely different strategy. We can include structure and that's a completely different strategy. We can include volume, that's a completely different strategy. We can include order flow, it's a completely different strategy. So the thing here is that we're building basically we're building around this specific strategy, right? This strategy right now has like the bare minimum requirements, just one requirement, right? Momentum push up or down. Um, and like what Masij said, once we have the data there, we can start pulling things from this data to implement filters and confluences and stuff like that to help the strategy become even better. So we don't want to overfit, but once we have all this data kind of put in one place, we can really start to improve and make slight changes to make things better and more accurate and more consistent. So it's just a time. Barack said, Sean, maybe you should do a video of your journey to where you are. I think I need it for my archive. Yeah, no, definitely. Brock's been here from a long time ago. I mean, you guys remember that. So Brock said from the Ichimoku days, if you know, to today. I'll try to check out those videos if they're still on YouTube, LOL. Yeah, so if you guys remember, so I created the trend meter a long time ago, right? The trend meter is based off the Ichimoku cloud. A lot of people don't know what the Ichimoku cloud is, or you've probably seen pictures of it or heard of it. This trend meter initially was built off the Ichimoku cloud. The reason why I use Ichimoku cloud to identify trend is that I was looking for ways that people identify trend differently, right? So from the very beginning, I've always looked for strategies that nobody applies, right? Or indicators that nobody uses. Um, and that's kind of what gave us a lot of edge in the beginning, right? We used to use the Ichimoku cloud and a lot of people didn't know what it was, so like nobody was using it. Um, and it helped because we were able to identify trend that people weren't able to identify. So Yeah, I've always been kind of creative and a bit of a trailblazer when we're looking at strategies and stuff like that. Not that each Moku cloud's never been used. It's just that it's not used by the general public. So that was one of the tools that we started with. Yeah, it's crazy, Barack. It's a long time ago, right? So a long time ago, we just had momentum. We didn't have the pivots. We didn't have any of this stuff. We literally just had the momentum, and I had a Ichimoku cloud to identify trend manually. And then over time, I created the pivots, and then this just made things easier to identify the trend. And then we improved with like a bunch of other things over time, like using the GAN box. There's a lot of tools there that a lot of people don't know how to use. Like a common thing is RSI, right? There's different tools to use to identify relative strength. Not just RSI. Same with moving averages, right? There's not just a regular moving average. There's simple moving average, there's stochastic, there's fast, there's slow, there's whole. There's so many different moving averages to use. Um, and I tried to use a lot of the tools that nobody was using. That's why in the beginning we had a lot of success because we used a lot of stuff that nobody used. And that's kind of how hedge funds work now too. They always look for these small edges that nobody's aware of. All right, guys, so back to the chart. Again, there's no entries here right now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll keep looking over. The next entry is in about 20 minutes. So we'll keep looking to see where this ends up going. The momentum here is very strong for a sell, as you guys can see down here. Very red. The trend here is starting to flip to bearish. The higher time frames are still kind of bullish, though. The 1 hour and 4 hour is still bullish. I don't think these are going to flip, but the lower time frames here are dropping pretty heavily. It's pushing past the support level right now as we speak, or it's at the support level actually. Possibly a double bottom here or a possible break past it. Let's see. Masij said full TP on the 48, took it for a buy. Got it at 48,700. That's what my system said. Nice. Okay, so Masij got into this 48 entry over here. 48,700. Wow, so you got in like, wait, 48,700. How'd you get in so low? You might be on the other contract. Okay. Now, I think that the pricing's still a little off, guys. So I know some of you guys asked about the contract flip. I think Nick asked about it this morning, right? So right now I'm looking at the price. Yeah, the pricing is 48,680. No, the pricing is normal now. Okay. So usually on the contract flip day, which was yesterday, the pricing is off by like 200 to 300 points. But right now it is it's balanced. So I think everybody should have rolled over to the new contract by now. Yeah, Masisha, that's what I'm doing, including order flow. It's working great. Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with you too. Mashish said also your momentum indicator is not something groundbreaking, so it's not possible to patent. It's more of your analysis with your indicators and confluence. Yeah, exactly, Mashish. I tried to get it patented. So the thing is, I own the patent for Cody Kai trades and K2 trades. So I own the trademarks and patents for those. I was doing the patents and trademarks for those, and I try to also patent the strategy, but you just can't really patent code specifically. You can't patent code for trading because, like you said, it's nothing groundbreaking. It's not like I came up with something that hasn't been around. I'm sure someone else understands how the momentum indicator works, and you understand how it works too, Message. It's not super complicated. It's just it's just different parameters kind of put together to create a signal. Um, like to be honest, I didn't create this from scratch, right? I basically pulled different things from different tools to create the logic, and then I put it together into one indicator, which establishes momentum signals. So I agree with you 100%, Masish. The thing with trading, guys, is that trading's been around for so long that nothing that comes up is new. Like if you guys ever see anything that's published, nothing that comes up with trading is new. It just depends on how the person uses those tools, that knowledge, that information. Just like what Masish said, it's not. the secret isn't the indicator. The secret is my analysis and how I analyze the charts. That's really what it is. Because a lot of people can't see what I'm seeing. Like I can see this stuff without the indicators on the tools on the screen. It's just I created these indicators to be able to see it more quickly and with more systematic confirmation versus me just looking at this. Like for example, if I was to take all these tools off the chart, if I was to take everything off here, you can kind of see what's happening. Like for example, here you can see prices pushing up. You see this big green candle. This is obviously a bullish momentum, right? And you turn this on, you're like, okay, there's a buy signal right there. Vice versa, right here, same thing. Price starts to turn around right here, and it starts to drop, and there's like a bigger red candle right here. This will identify, a bearish momentum. So it just kind of depends on on the person using the tool, because having the tool isn't going to give you. It's not going to make you like a perfect trader right off the bat. You have to know how to use a tool and the data, to your advantage. But all right, guys, so there's nothing here right now. Again, our entry's coming up in in another 15 minutes or so. So I'll keep answering more questions here as we wait. All right, let's see. Let's see. So Siege got in at 48,700. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how did you get in? Or okay, because you said yeah, it told you to get in earlier, so you got in a little earlier right here as price was kind of consolidating at this lower point. So yeah, Masij got in right there, and then he wrote it up before it even came up at 748, which makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I could see the order flow analysis right here without even actually looking at the order flow. Price kind of flattened out right here, and you can see the momentum was going to push through, like it was going to follow through anyways, because that trade was listed for a buy, so or I mean for a sell, but we did see momentum here start to build up as price pushed up higher. Yeah, exactly. Masij said exactly. Indicators are meant to be used as tools. Yeah, like for me, I don't really need the indicators, but I have the indicators on here because there's no way you guys can see what I'm seeing in my head. Like I'm used to just trading off a naked chart with nothing on it. Um, and obviously just using the tools here as a confluence or confirmation. Like you can see here when the momentum comes up, guys. Like you can see the volume here starts to die out. And then you get some smaller red candles followed by a big one, right? So obviously that's a momentum move right there. Same with this right here. We have some consolidation, volume dying out, big candle right there, obviously momentum. Again, right here, volume is dying out, big candle. Um, it's just really quantifying it into a tool where it shows you on the chart. And you can see here that the tool is kind of laggy in a sense, right? A lot of times you'll see it kind of flicker and then it'll stay there for a little bit. Eventually it'll come up. Like for example, this here, I can tell there's a momentum coming up. Like it's starting to set up right here, right? Because price hit a top, like a high point right here. And I wouldn't be surprised. And there you go. There goes the momentum that I just mentioned, right? Because it should have came up on this one, but it's coming up on this one. So you guys can see that this is why people always hate indicators because they say that indicators are delayed, and they're not wrong. Indicators are delayed, right? They're laggy. You have to be able to see the price action as it happens, and you can anticipate that the momentum is going to follow it after. Yeah, Masij said yes. I feel that's what some people need to understand. The momentum indicator is not an end all be all. It's meant to be used in confluence. Yeah, exactly. That's why I turn on the alerts here because the alerts help identify like it basically gives you the heads up that hey, momentum is going to push down at some point, right? That's why I turn on the alerts here because now that we have this flickering, we know that momentum is trying to push down. So the next time we have a strong red candle, that momentum is going to close, right? And there you go, it's closed. So. Yeah, I never use these, and this is why the entries. So again, if you guys look at our algo entries aren't based off the momentum signal, right? It's based on following momentum in that direction. So like for example, right here at the 648 entry, we didn't base it off the buy signal, we based it off the follow-up that happened after it. Yeah, no, I agree with you too, CJ. Yeah, exactly. Because if it wasn't important, they wouldn't want it, right? Yeah, because a lot of stuff happened behind like so this was before you were around, Miss but before I was in this really big lawsuit for the past couple of years, um, where this other hedge fund basically wanted to monopolize the name K2. We used to be called K2 before, which was short for Cody Kai. And I was in this lawsuit for a long time, and they tried to take the entire website, all the indicators, all the tools, all that stuff. They basically wanted me to shut down. But basically, what's happening now, except it was a different hedge fund that was doing it. Now I have my own hedge fund, so the regulators are trying to shut it down. Um, but yeah, it was super annoying. They kept trying to like they basically tried to bully me into giving them everything I created, like all the tools, all the indicators, all the stuff that we've established. And the lawsuit went on for like I think 2 years, and I wasted so much money on the lawsuit to the point where and they were a big hedge fund, so they had like an endless amount of money to keep pushing the lawsuit for years and years and years, and I ended up just changing the name. And that's how we were able to keep everything. Because we used to be called K2 Trades, and then they were called K2 Advisors. They were like another hedge fund that they didn't even trade futures or anything like that. They traded, I mean, they traded everything. But they were a big hedge fund. They were a smaller company, part of a bigger hedge fund. It was like a Donald Trump company. So yeah. If you guys were around for that, you guys remember it was it was an annoying period where we couldn't really focus on trading because I was always going to meetings for the case and stuff like that. Because they would sue me for something and then I would win and they'd sue me for another. They just kept finding something to sue me for. Um, to just basically try and steal everything that we had. It was horrible. Yeah, Missy said, yeah, I heard about this horrible greedy people. Yeah, the crazy thing is like I feel like they didn't even want the tools. They just wanted the tools to be taken down for others not to use, which I think is crazy. Yeah, I mean these hedge funds are serious. Like these bigger hedge funds that are established and they have a ton of money, they're really serious about keeping a lot of this stuff under wraps. Anyways, guys, we have the entry coming up in a bit. It's coming up in about 6 minutes or so. Here's the statistics for this specific entry. So this entry over here has a 7.20 max drawdown. This shows that it has a max of a little over three losses back to back. Because I am doing a 2% risk per trade. The probability for this is a 55%, and the profit factor is 2.456. So this means that for every loss, there's a win of 2.46. So if you look over here at the list, you can see whenever there's a loss here, so there's like one or two losses, and then a bunch of wins, a couple losses, a bunch of wins, one loss win, one loss win, one loss win, etc. Um, this is what we have here listed for our next target entry. So it is with momentum and it's for a sell. The overall probability is 55% for either way. For buys here, it's 41.67, so this isn't as great. The sells here is what we're looking for. It has a 75% probability for sell. So that's what we're going to be looking to get into here if we do have that opportunity. It's going to come up in about 6 minutes or so. So we'll be watching for that. It's not there yet, but we will be watching for the next opportunity here. There's an MPS sell here that Sam looked to jump into. So nice work, Sam. If you got into that, looks like it did push down pretty nicely. I think the 40 points got hit. Yeah. There you go. MPS V2 hit right there, full TP. So again, like we talked about earlier, a lot of the older strategies still work perfectly fine, guys. There's nothing wrong with these older strategies. There was another MPSV2 right here too. Sell signal, retracement, confirmation right here for an MPSV2 right there for a sell as well. So if you guys want to keep applying my old strategies, feel free to apply them. They're still working perfectly fine. I mean, you probably wouldn't want to go for the 60 though, because like we talked about, the risk to reward here is probably better applied with a 60 long term. And yeah, there goes that. So we have the entry coming up shortly, guys, in a bit. Let's take a look at the candles over here. So the sells here look good. The only thing here that I would be a little concerned about is that it looks a little bit overextended in a sense. We're currently down below structure. So I did have that support level drawn up right there. And we're currently at we're at the sessions actually. So it's dumping down a bit. I see you said Sean just gave you access to the new indicator. It's the exact same momentum indicator you made, but with has confidence rating for each momentum. Okay, cool. Let me add it on this side. I'll just add it here to see what it looks like, and then I can add it to my main chart as well. Um, let's see. It's giving me an error. Siege. Okay, never mind. I see it now. Okay, cool. Gotcha. So what are the ratings out of Massager? Are they out of three or are they out of higher number? I think three is the highest, right? That's all I can see here. Oh, it's four. Looks like out of five. Okay, good. That's what I figured. So one out of five. Okay, cool. I just wanted to see what it looks like. Now I can add it over here and I'll just turn off a couple of the settings to so they don't overlap. Let me refresh this. Okay, cool. Okay. So it looks like it doesn't cover every momentum, or does it? Maybe it does. I don't know. It looks like there's a couple here that don't actually align, but it's okay. I mean, we'll just have the numbers there so we can kind of see. Yeah, so I mean, for the most part, it is kind of aligned. I think yeah, there's just a couple here that are like, so there's a couple extras here that I see. I just wanted to see to make sure. I mean, it's all good. What we're using this for is not necessarily for the momentum. It's really just for the rating, right? So I'm just going to put this to 0 so we don't have the visual colors on there. Yeah. Or actually, I don't think it's going to work, huh? Yeah. I think I would need the numbers on there. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll just leave it on this chart because I don't want it just overlaps a little bit. I'll leave it on this chart and then I'll just look at the numbers as they appear. Okay, so it's currently at a 3 level right there. Um, which is not bad, right? It's good. Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't matter because we know there's a momentum there. So, with that being the case, I could just be like, okay, we looked over here and it's at 3. So I'll just keep a separate chart here. I think this is what works best. I just have a separate chart there to kind of see. So we have the entry coming up right now, guys. This is going to be the target entry. Looking at the price action right now, I don't know if this is one that like I said, I think it's overextended a bit. I'm going to look to see how this candle here ends up closing. All right, so we're setting up right now for the entry, guys. For those of you who are looking to get into it, do you have a rating for this one, Masish? Or not a rating, but you know how you have the. Okay, gotcha. It said not to take. Okay, so I think I'm gonna sit out of this one, guys. This is the next target entry. I know I'm trying to take out my discretion, but I can see here that these candles here look very tricky, and I think it's overextended in a sense. It's due for retracement up. If you guys want to take this trade here, this is going to be the next target entry for the day, but it does look a little bit tricky here in a sense. It does look a little tricky in a sense that I think it's overextended. It's due for retracement. Um, The one thing that I saw over here from the data too is that it tends to, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. It won yesterday, so I'd be a little cautious. But if you guys want to take it, there's nothing wrong with taking the trade. The trade's currently running right now. I'll follow it for you guys. I mean, it's running right now. You can see it's right there. So it's currently running. I'll put this right here. Personally, I think it's probably going to play through. It's just, using my discretion here is what kind of threw me off a little bit. But like looking at this here, it actually looks like it could be pretty decent because it's very red here. It's just whenever it's very red like this also gives me caution because it's due for retracement, right? What I like to see a lot of times is I would like this to kind of push up a little bit, create a wick, and then come back down further, right? So that there's space for continuation down. So the trade's running right now. It's looking all right. Let me check the statistics here to see how long this trade usually runs for. So average winning bars is this trade should usually run for about 6 minutes. So by 6 minutes, it should be done and at target. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So at 7:27, usually it should be done by now. Uh, they're pretty equal. So it says losing is about 8 bars, winning is about 6 bars. Yeah, Masisha, the reason for it not wanting to take it was the order flow showed dying momentum. It could still very well hit. Yeah, I agree with you too, Masish. But I'd rather have more confidences and confidence behind the position. Like your tool basically identified what I already identified too, right? I saw the momentum here starting to die down before the entry came up. And that's what kind of threw me off a little bit because I was worried that price was going to retrace up and hit because the ATR is so high, right? It's at 33 ATR. So if it does pull back at all, our stop loss is at 30. It's not enough to hold it. I mean, for the most part, it's looking good. Obviously, I would like it to hit. I would like it to hit, of course, but obviously take caution with certain entries here. Let's see, I think we've reached the 40 already, or almost. Oh, so the 40 already hit right there. If you guys want to move your stop loss and profit, you can. But the 60 is still on its way down. Yeah, Masish said, I feel like I'm learning from you and then coding based on your strategy. I'm basically creating a mini you in code form because the analysis is always similar. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Okay, it's about a hit right there, guys. So nice work if you guys caught that trade right there. Full TP almost on the full TP on the 40. It's about to be full TP on the 60. All right, great. So win right there, guys. Full TP. 2R for the day. Man, this algo has been on point. I like that we adjusted to the 60-30 because even though it's not going to draw down, the trade's still hitting pretty nicely. So full TP on that trade right there if you guys caught that. You guys can see over here. If you guys didn't catch it, it's completely fine. I was being a little more cautious today. Um, After looking at how price here was moving. But you can see over here, the short position was entered for 10 right there. And the short exit for 10 was right there, 10 contracts. All right, not bad. Yeah, not bad from that right there. So if you guys are following what we talked about yesterday, we mentioned how it's basically like a one and done type deal, right, for the day. If you guys are taking the entries here, this was your one win for the day or one targeted win, and then you'd be done for the day. If you guys want to keep trading, feel free to keep trading. But if that was the case, you'd have two back-to-back wins for the week so far. It's currently at 4 hour. So we'll uh we'll see what happens next. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Nice. Justice caught the buy or the sell. Yeah, great trade, everybody. Brock said, I think NQ is being weirdly nice lately. No tricks at all. Message said, yes, the 60/30 is giving great entries. Yeah, I agree with you too, Message. I think the 60/30 is great. Nikki said, got it. Nice work, Nikki. So Nikki's done for the day. CJ caught it for 60. Great. Message said, looks like stage two is paying off. Yeah, 100%. I agree. The stage two is working pretty nicely there. So I'm just looking at the entry right now, guys. I don't think my entry would have filled either way because I'm putting limit orders here. Um, it looks like it didn't really pull back very much, right? So at that 621, I typically would put my limit order like right there. It might have filled, but it doesn't look like it pushed back far enough to fill my limit order. I don't know if anybody else got in with the limit order as well, but or tried to get in with the limit order. But I'm just looking at the candles here. So for example, see how this here kind of pulls back a little bit? My limit order would get filled right there. But with this one right here, it doesn't really look like it would have gotten filled. So it looks like even if I try to get into this, I probably wouldn't have gotten a fill on that trade um, for the obvious reasons. Gotcha. Justice ticket for 40/20. Nice. So what I like about this now, or what I've been starting to notice here, is that the volatility is not as crazy as it's been for the past couple months, right? So this, I mean, I don't want to jump back into market entries, but looking at this here so far, it looks like there's going to be less and less slippage. There's a pro and a con there when it comes down to limit orders and market orders, but we'll uh we'll see. Yeah, Brock said this is growth. I remember when we traded 10/30 and we were profitable. We came to 30/30, then 40/20. Now we're doing 60/30. Yeah. So we went from negative risk reward to 1-to-1 to 1-to-2, and now even bigger 1-to-2s. Yeah, no, definitely, Brock. You've been here to see it, so you've noticed it for sure. So guys, this is what I was worried about, what me and Masij were worried about. See this big green candle? I was worried that that was going to happen somewhere over here because price started to slow down a bit. We were worried it was going to flip back up, right? That's exactly what's happening here now. So price is starting to slow down and it's flipping back up. The next entry is actually right now. This is with momentum for a buy. It's going to be a no entry because there was no buy signal here prior. It has a pretty good statistic. So it currently has a 7.48 max drawdown, 50% overall probability, 70% buys, 30% sells, and a 2-point profit factor. So no entry there, but that there would have been a solid setup. Yeah, Masich said if anyone is trading trend line price, looks like it's about to reverse off the 5-minute trend. Yeah, looks like it definitely. It's starting to break past it right there. All right, so we will continue to follow it here. Another buy signal right there pending. So two buy signal triggers right there as price continues to push up. There's still no confirmation, so that 729 entry is a no entry. But it looks like if it did close for a buy there, it looks like it's starting to push up pretty nicely. So nice setup overall. Let's see. So Justice, I just saw your message right now. Man, I'm getting sick again. It's like I just got better, now I'm sick again. That's kind of hard for me to breathe. So looking at this over here, Justice mentioned, yeah, so 650 was actually not an entry yesterday, guys. It was a typo. It was a miss highlight. So this one over here, this is from yesterday's list. The max drawdown was a little too high. It was at it has to be below 8 to be target entry. Everything else here lined up pretty nicely though, but it wasn't a actual target entry from yesterday. Today was a little better. It dropped down a little bit because I think yesterday's one. But yeah, this entry from yesterday was not a target entry. Let's see. Roland said, "Can anyone give me a hand with account setup? I'm running a Mac." Yeah, Roland. So, what do you have problems with? I mean, you're here on the Zoom, right? So you can talk on the Zoom if you want me to walk you through what you need help with. The problem with Mac is that you can't use NinjaTrader on Mac. So I think is that your problem that you're trying to run NinjaTrader? If you're trying to run NinjaTrader, you need to be on a PC. So you might have to run Parallels if you want to run it on a Mac, or you have to have like a separate boot camp system. Um, but yeah, you're on the Zoom here. So if you want to talk in the Zoom chat, I can kind of help you with what you need help with. We don't have any entries coming up anytime soon, so let's see. What's going on right now? Let me drag this over real quick. Or, I can open up on here. Let's see. All right, so let's see what we got over here. So, Roland, I do see your message right there with the indicators. The exclamation mark shows that you have access to it. It just shows that your chart's not loading it up. That was kind of what happened earlier when I loaded up Message's tool. You have to probably log out of your NinjaTrader, or not, sorry, not NinjaTrader. Log out of your trading view and log back in because it shows that you have access. You just don't. It's not loading on your chart. Here, I'll type in the chat. Let's see. Let me pull up the list of trades, make sure I'm not missing anything. So we got another entry coming up in about 5 minutes, guys. It's going to be against momentum, so it's not one that I'm looking to get into, but it is coming up soon. Masij, are you still going to be showing the tool today? I just remember. Okay, cool. Let's see. So we got Roland over here. Let me see. Roland said, I assume you're running on Parallels. I bought my Apex accounts. No, so I have a separate computer for NinjaTrader. I have a separate laptop that I execute my trades on. So I don't run parallels. I mean, you can run it. I personally didn't want to run it on mine because I have so much stuff running already. But you can use parallels if that's what you want to use. Um, yeah, so I have a separate laptop just to execute NinjaTrader trades. And just to run the platform actually. Yeah, that's all I have. So I have a separate gaming laptop on the side that's like a high-end laptop. It only runs NinjaTrader. And all I do is I enter my positions on that specific laptop. But I do everything else like analysis and stuff in TradingView on my Mac, which is in front of me. Let me see what else we got here. So Roland said I bought the Apex accounts, just trying to link them all to Replicano, but can't access. Yeah, so you would need to get NinjaTrader. You can't do it on the web platform. You'd have to have the actual NinjaTrader platform um to use it. Yeah, you can either have a separate laptop. I mean, if you have a separate PC laptop, you can just do it separately and just have a separate screen or I have two mouses. So I have one mouse for my laptop, one mouse for TradingView here. But if you want to do it on your Mac, you would just have to like run parallels. I don't use parallels, so I can't really help you with that. There's other people here who do use it, or if you run a boot camp system, you can do that as well. But yeah, it's because NinjaTrader doesn't work on Mac, unfortunately. I know it's weird. I don't know why a lot of these companies don't port over to Mac because everybody uses Mac. But yeah, that's the main loop. You just got to get through that, and then once you're able to run NinjaTrader, it'll be really simple to get it all set up. Hey, what's up, Paul? Nice. How old's your son? 4 months. Wow. Yeah, same age as my daughter. My daughter's 5, so super active. That's funny. That's awesome. Yeah, Paul's gonna get his son into trading too. That's my goal. Hopefully Alina will want to get into trading as well to keep this going. I mean, the good thing with trading is that you can kind of trade forever, right? Like I can be like 100 and I could probably still be trading with you guys. And by then, the algo would probably be so advanced that we probably wouldn't even need to do any work. Um, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, once you get the trading stuff down, it's really cool because you can always teach this to other people, family or kids, etc. That's why, like for my daughter, I'm gonna let her do whatever she wants, but if she doesn't figure out what she wants to do, she would always fall back on trading, which is always a good thing. All right, so we have this entry coming up right here, guys. We have a cluster of against momentum, and they're not going to be right next to each other, but we have the first one right here. It's going to be for a buy. If you guys want to take this is actually a really good setup. I'm just not taking it because it is against momentum. It's going to be right here at 740. It's against momentum, has a max drawdown of 6.25, overall probability of 55%, buys a 75% or 70% probability, sells for 40. It has a profit factor of 2.418. So if you guys want to take this next entry right here, it's going to start to set up right here at 740. There's a pending momentum, so it actually sets up, or it looks like it's setting up pretty nicely. So if you guys want to take this here, it's a listed entry, not a target entry, specifically because it is against momentum. But if I was taking trades that were against momentum, this actually does meet criteria. It meets criteria because the max drawdown is very low. The overall probability is above 55, it's 55 or above. The buy percentage is 70, and the profit factor is 2.418. So it shows that for every loss, there's a 2.418 probability of it pushing up. Let's see. Roland said, indicators are up. Thanks for the advice. I'll just use my other Windows laptop, like you mentioned. Makes sense. Appreciate the help. Yeah, no problem, Roland. I know. I wish there was an easier way to do it, but I mean, unfortunately, there just isn't. I think eventually they're gonna have to like set up something for Mac because everybody's using a Mac. But yeah, as of now, they don't offer the cross-platform. But all right, guys, here's the entry right here at 740. This one's currently running in profit. If you guys decided to take that trade there, I'm not in the position. Like I said before, I don't really like taking against momentum. Asij just kind of ran the data. I ran the data too. The against momentums are not profitable long term. They're good for shorter term entries, and they're good for confluences to identify turnarounds. But for the most part, they're not good overall entries when it comes down to uh, against momentum. Rev said, y'all getting them started early. My kids adults now have no interest. Yeah, no, it's hard to so the thing with trading is like you have to really like it, right? I think and I'm sure you know it just as well as I do, Rev, like you have to really like it. If you don't like it, you're never gonna learn. It's just like with any other thing out there, right? If you try to put your kids in sports and they don't like sports, they're never gonna learn or they're never gonna like it. Um, So yeah, every day I bring Alina on here. She kind of sees like how things work and how like what I'm doing here, and she likes the colors. So hopefully, eventually in the future, she'll have some interest in it. All right, so looking over here at the confluences with regard to the candles, guys, the buys here don't actually look so great, right? I mean, they look okay, but they don't look so great with regard to current momentum, right? The 4 hour over here is still bearish. The good thing here is that we have a big wick on the bottom, so this could push up possibly. Same with the 1 hour here; it's very similar. Not very much of a confluence there for a buy side, but it's actually pretty mixed. So the 4 hour is a bearish candle here. The 1 hour is a bearish candle. The 30 minute is a bullish candle, sort of. And yeah, I mean, we'll kind of see where this ends up going, but yeah, let's leave this as chart so it doesn't kind of screw with whatever I'm looking at here. Let's see. Rev said, "Hey, Sean, just wanted to check with you to see if a church could create an account and join your hedge fund once you get on StoneX." I believe so. I believe so. Um, yeah, because they do have church accounts. I know they have like an Islamic account, so I'm assuming they have a church account for other churches as well. So, well, I'll reach out to the to our account manager and we'll see what he says, but I'm sure they do. There should be like specific. I know what you're talking about because then you wouldn't. I mean, it'd be like tax efficient, right? And you could also just run it for the church as well. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they have that available. I would just have to confirm it. But from my knowledge, yeah, they do have specific religious accounts. They don't call it church accounts, of course, but just religious accounts in general. Yeah, Mesij said by the time you're 100, trading won't be a thing. When people figure out it's a bunch of AIs trading the market won't be a thing anymore. Yeah, or it just you'd have to find like little inconsistencies, right? This is why I like trading on the 1 minute time frame because you're able to just catch these little inconsistencies in the market, right, Masish? I think you could understand that too. Like I believe if you're trading on a higher time frame, it makes things a lot harder because that's where the algos are kind of fighting each other a little bigger, like pushing the bigger pushes. And it's harder to get for those bigger targets, right? But trading on these smaller time frames, like the 1 minute, a lot of people don't trade on these time frames because it's hard to read, right? It's really fast and you have to like be able to get in and out at specific times. So I do think, yeah, in the future, longer time frame trading is probably going to be impossible. If you're shooting for like those bigger targets and whatnot, and you have a small stop. But with these smaller time frames, I think there's always going to be some sort of edge here. As long as you're only in it for a couple minutes, right? You're not in it for like an hour. I think day trading is probably going to be obsolete, of course. Swing trading, like on the months or the weekly or the monthly will probably still be okay. But I think day trading on like the 5, 10 minute, I think those are going to be obsolete because those are going to be harder to really fight the algos on because they're going to be pushing price back and forth, right? It's going to be a choppy market all the time. And with it being choppy like that, it's unless you have enough, to kind of withstand the choppiness, you're going to get pulled out in a lot of trades. So we have another setup coming up over here, guys. This is going to be against momentum again. I'll just call it out. It's at 649. Um, it's going to be for a sell. So we'll be looking for it here. as price moves along. The entry over here played out pretty nice actually. So this was a 740 entry. So like I talked about earlier, guys, the parameters were actually really good for this trade here. Like I said, if this wasn't an against momentum, this would have been a target entry because the criteria was really good. It was 6.25 max drawdown, 55% overall, 70% for buys, and a profit factor of 2.4. So that was really good. Like if you look at my criteria here, it passes all of these with flying numbers, right? So it had to be below 8%, which it was. It was 6%. Overall probability was 55, which is great. The profit factor is way over 2. So yeah, that was a good trade there. We have another one setting up in a bit, but we will see what's next. Siege said, how could you not like this much money? Right? You could trade on the side and still work if you like your job. And if you don't like your job, just trade. Yeah, and I agree with you 100%, Siege. Like, the thing is, like, if you're trading our system here, where we only trade for an hour and a half in the morning, you can still go to work. Like right now, if I wanted to work as an attorney, if I wanted to go back and do law and stuff like that, I could go back and do law, right? Because I'll be done by 8, I'll be at the office by 9, I'll do my day job or whatever during that period. And then the algo, it takes me like 30 minutes to pull the list of trades. So yeah, like what Masij mentioned, the thing with me is I don't want to work. I don't want to do anything. I'm uh I'm inherently a lazy person, to be honest. Like when it comes down to work, I'm a lazy person. If I like what I'm doing, then I'll do it. But for the most part, when I was working as an attorney, I like did the bare minimum. I could have done a lot more, but I literally did the bare minimum. Um, you weren't around before, Masij, but before I was actually trading at my job. Like I would get to my office at like 5:30. We would go live like we're going live right now. And then by 8 o'clock, I'd be done trading and I would go and do my law work and stuff. So yeah, it's possible. You can do both. If you want to work a regular job, you can, like a 9 to 5. Trade from 6:30 to 8, work 9 to 5, and then just keep doing what you're doing. But for me, I prefer not to work. I'm just a lazy person. And I'm not ashamed to say it, right? Just a lazy person. Um, but I'm also less stressed. So you guys have seen I'm always messing around here on the live stream. We're never really stressed out here because we're frustrated sometimes, but we're never stressed out. All right, anyways, there's an entry coming up right here, guys. This is going to be a no entry because we already have a sell momentum there. We have a follow-up right after it though. So, all right, I'm updating the spreadsheet right now. If you guys are looking at the spreadsheet, I'm just updating it as we go. Let's see. So we have an entry coming up right here again at 750 right after. It's a little tricky. I mean, I'm looking over here at the criteria. The criteria actually looks pretty decent, but like I said, it's still a little tricky here. So this candle is about to close. Um, we have a nice bottom wick here on the 4 hour, nice bottom wick here on the 1 hour, and it's gonna be for a buy. All right, if you guys want to take this trade here again, this is going to be against momentum. It's at 750. And it has a max drawdown of 7.99, so it's just at that 8% mark. As a 55% overall probability, 55 for buys, 54 for sells. As a profit factor of 2.448. So the statistics here look good overall. Now looking over here at the confluences, they don't look so hot, right? The 5 minute doesn't look so great. It's coming down, it's red. 10 minutes coming down doesn't look so great. It's red. 1 minute it's coming down pretty hard, doesn't look so good. It's red. 1 hour here, nice wick on the bottom, but still red. Same with the 4 hour, nice wick on the bottom, but still red, right? So with that being the case, if you guys want to take this entry here, I would take this with some caution because the momentum is coming down very strongly. So if you want to take that there, again, take it at your own risk. We'll follow it. We'll see where it ends up going. But again, it's against momentum, so I'm not looking to get into it personally. Yeah, Mesisha, the only edge left are these small ones. They need to be weeded out. I don't know how much longer we have of good profit. Yeah, so the thing with this is that we can always shift around, right? Mesij, like, we have the data, so like we might just have to change the time parameters, right? So like we're typically going between 6:30 and 8. Maybe at some point we might have to shift to like maybe 9 to 11 or 11 to 12 to close, or even Asia session. The good thing is that we know what we're doing here, so we just need to make small adjustments. It's like TP stop loss changes, the asset changes, or the time of trading changes, right? I think those are going to be the little things that we could change there. The thing is that the market's always changing, and it's over. There's going to be some periods where the algo is not going to be super strong or consistent, like November, but it usually comes back, right? We'll have some months where it's just kind of slow or it's kind of down, and then some months where it's picking back up. Like this month is pretty nice overall, I think, for the most part. I think it's pretty solid. All right, guys. So that entry right there is currently running right now. This trade is gonna be faded though. So if you look at the list of trades, guys, there's it's going to be faded. So we have this one that's currently running. This is against momentum. There's another one right after that's with momentum actually, but it's going to be for a sell. The max drawdown is it's not really bad, but it's not great. It's a 9.84% max drawdown for the with momentum. So this will probably hit first, and then if you want to hit it back with the other way, you probably could. So I would say, or I would hope for this one to hit first because the other entry is coming up right after. Yeah, Rev, so I'm surprised there's this much movement in December. Must have been all the delayed news. Yeah, especially because today was NFP. I think that's the main thing, right, Rev? I think that's what throws me off, or throws us off for the most part. Let's see. Jesus said, I start work at 8:30, but trying to get to the point of working part-time and trade in the mornings. Yeah, that's what happened with a lot of people in this group, actually. So a lot of people, they used to work in the mornings like you at 8 o'clock, and then what they do is they just work part-time. So like they'll trade, I think, like 3 days out of the week, and then or they'll just trade like from 6:30 to like 8, and then they go to work, or they trade every day, but then on certain days they have the whole morning, and other days they have the whole day basically. Yeah, I think that's the goal, right, Jesus? Like slowly phase out work to the point where you don't have to work at all anymore. That's kind of what I did too. Or actually, no, I didn't phase it out. I actually just quit my job during COVID and never went back. So yeah, I take that back. Actually, I didn't phase it out. I just like went all in and decided to never go back. All right, so this entry right here at 752, guys. I mean, this would have been a skipped entry because we had the pending momentum coming up right here. So let's take a look at the alert list. Or actually, let's not take a look at the alert list because we do have an entry coming up shortly. So again, the entry is coming up shortly for target entry, guys. It is at, I'm not gonna say the time, but what's the criteria for this one, Masish? For this one coming up, we have the target entry coming up next. If you have the statistics on it. Yeah, that's what I thought too. It does look good for the most part. Let's take a look at the criteria. I mean, for the most part, it does look good, like what Masish mentioned. Nice wick on the bottom, nice wick on the bottom. 10's looking good, nice wick on the bottom overall. So yeah, I'll be looking to get into this one here in a bit. I got so much stuff on my chart, I don't even know where the timer's at anymore. All right, let's see what we got here.
Order submitted. Or
So I'll be watching this here.
order submitted.
So we got 10 seconds left. Try to draw my limit order sometime soon. I don't know if I'm gonna get the fill on this. Let's see. If it doesn't pull back and fill me, then I'm just gonna cancel it. All right, so it did fill me right there. Volatility is a little strong on this one.
Order filled.
Let's see. I don't like how we get those spikes of volatility like we got right there, but we'll I'm in it, so I'm following it here.
Order filled.
Let's see. It's probably
Order filled.
oh man, my phone's loud. All right, so I'm watching right here as price continues to move along. If it pushes up, great. If it doesn't, it stops me out. That's completely fine too. Not a big deal. But I'm watching on my end because there was some criteria here that I don't think it filled on every account. So I'm watching it right here as it moves along. Yeah, I got stopped out. It's all good. All right, so slight stop out right there. Let's see.
Order filled.
Yeah, looks like I got some slippage on that. I mean, the trade looked good overall, but yeah, unfortunately got stopped out on that trade. So looks like that's my loss for the day. I'm still up for the week, I believe. It's yeah, it's just so we're at currently 1R for the week. We had a win yesterday, which was a 2R, and then today was a 1R, of course. So we're currently at, I'll just open the spreadsheet now. Hit this. Man, I fucking hate being sick. All right, so um this one's good. This was a no trade. I think this one was I know this one was a win. No entry. And this was a loss. So today overall, I mean, if I took that first trade, I would have been good because that would have been my one and done type trade. But I did wait for this other one down here. Unfortunately, that one was a loss. So that is the day so far. It's about to be 8 o'clock. Let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. But again, going back to what we were seeing here, I mean, it looks like we just got stopped out right there, but price is pushing right back up. And the volume right there just kind of spiked down very sharply. Let's see. Yeah, some siege said, okay. Yeah, Masij said the only thing in order flow indicating something bad was slow momentum. Also a couple large sell orders. Um, yeah, I mean overall the trade looked good, so there's not really much there that was looking bad. So if we go back and here, I'm just gonna change the numbers here to take everything off. We talked about this before. This is gonna happen. So, there's gonna be losses, so you just gotta accept the losses. And unfortunately, this was one of the losses that we took. But if we go back here, so before the entry came up at 7:55, let's replay to this candle right here. So looking at this here, I mean the setup looked good, right? Price is pushing up, everything looked good. The candles over here were pretty much solid. We had a big wick over here on the 1 hour and the 4 hour on the bottom end. So price looked like it wanted to push up. The only thing here is that we just didn't have any, there's nothing to, I mean, I didn't see any structure here. Let me go over here real quick and see if there was any. So the only structure that well, actually there wasn't structure here because price was above it. There was a support level here. This was one from this morning. Price looked like it was going to break and retest off this level here. All right. Or I guess if this was looked at as a resistance, there was possibly a double top. But this is just over analyzing, the trade loss, it is what it is. But there wasn't really much here. Like everything looked good for the most part. So as long as you guys can accept that losses are going to happen, it's just part of the game, right? That's just how trading is and how you have to carry on with the market. So let's see if there's anything else here to look at. But again, the week's pretty good so far. If you look at the spreadsheet for this week so far, we had a 4 hour yesterday, 1 hour yesterday with the or basically, if we took the one trade, which would be a 2 hour, if we took the first trade here, again, 2 hour. But other than that, pretty much. It looks like the 755 is not going to be a target entry for tomorrow because there was two back-to-back losses right there for 755. Let me check the list again, or just in general. So I can actually look at the entry now. So I can just update this and include today's trade. So it looks like it's still going to be, or actually, so it's not going to be target entry. I just updated the statistics for tomorrow's session. It has a 7.88 max drawdown, but the thing here is the profitability or probability has went down. You can see over here the max drawdown. It's getting to that max drawdown point. So right here has a max drawdown of 7.88. This shows you that it has a max drawdown of a little over three losses back to back, which we're currently at right now. We're currently at two back-to-back losses, so it could maybe lose again before it pushes back up further for a win. But again, the 655 is not going to be a listed entry for tomorrow, it looks like, based off the data. But all right, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, we might wrap this up for the day, or we are going to wrap this up for the day. It's already 8 o'clock. Again, if you guys are looking at the entries for today so far, for the target entry, there's one win, one loss. That puts us at a positive 1 hour for the day. And if you took the trades yesterday, same thing, right? One win, one loss. It basically puts us in the same position. If we took every single target entry for this week, we'd have a win, the one that we took yesterday, and then the loss on the last trade. And then same with this one over here. The first trade was a win, and the second trade was a loss. So either way, this would still balance out to a 2 hour week so far. So. All right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, oh yeah, actually, sorry, Masij, are you here? Yeah, so I think Masij, you're supposed to, yeah. Okay, gotcha. Sorry, guys, I totally forgot. Yeah, Masij is gonna take over in a few. No, it's gonna be on this one. So if you guys just want to wait, Masij is going to take over. Just let me know when you're ready, Masij, and then I'll pass it over to you. Yeah, sorry, guys, I totally forgot. Masij is gonna explain how to use the extension. Yeah, I ran into some slippage on that last trade. Slippage is just, it's horrible. It's annoying. Okay, it's all good. Message is going to be coming back in about a few minutes, guys. Yeah, if there's anything else you guys want me to cover, feel free to hop into the chat. Message is going to take over in a few moments. He's going to explain how to use his extension to produce his algo entries. Um, and I'll actually let me put that in the video thing too. I'm going to change the title so I know. Today's the 16th. I'm just changing the title so we know what video is for here. CJ said Sean is trying to leave, and we're all looking through the chat to see if we missed something about it being canceled. Yeah, no, I totally forgot. But all right, I changed the title a little bit for this video. It says Chrome extension on it so that we know that this is the video. And I'll post it in the algo chat as well so that we can remember. But yeah, guys, so looking at the list of things here, there's just not really much to look at for the most part. While Masij comes back, I'm gonna actually start listing my trades for tomorrow. This is gonna cut down some time since we have some downtime here. I'll show you guys how this is how I identify my list of entries. So not super complicated. Mine just takes a little bit longer, but it's a lot more accurate because I'm doing it by hand. Well, it's accurate if you're doing it correctly, but if you do make mistakes, you're probably better just doing it automated. But yeah, here's how I do it. So basically what I'll start off with is I'll go off to the first time, which is 6:30, and I'll go by the minute. So every single minute I identify. So I go with momentum. It has 40% probability, so obviously that doesn't count. It needs to be above 50 for it to even be listed. So see there, it's not 50. I go right to the next one. And you guys can see it's very intuitive. It's 35%. I don't even like pay attention to anything. If it's not above 50, I don't even look at it. It's at 20. Now I go down to the next minute. On the first thing here, so this is where I set my dates. So I'll set the dates to include, the most recent trading day, and then I set it to 20 days back or 2 weeks back or 4 weeks back, 20 trading days. So like for example, I'm looking for Wednesday's trading algo entries. So I have it set right here to the 19th up until the 16th. And if you don't know exactly like what date it is and you want to confirm, just make sure that it shows a sample size of 20 trades. So basically 4 weeks of trades. So again, right here, there's nothing here at 7:31. I'm gonna go over here to against, that's 25. So again, it's not one of the entries that I'd be listing. All right. I gotta get a lean real quick. All right, baby girl. Say hello to your fans. All right, guys. We're just waiting for Masij here. I could still look these up. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into the chat. Again, I just go down these minute by minute. I go from 8:29 up until 9:59 basically. So 6:30 to 8. So 25%, 30%. None of those are going to be listed at all. It has to be above 50% for it to be listed. So I always look at this. If it's not 50%, then it's not going to meet criteria at all, and there's just no point. Like I just go right past it. 25%. 25%. 40%. So again, I've gone 6 or 7 minutes into the algo, and none of them are above 50, right? So they're not going to be any entry that I'm looking to list. Okay, so this is 50. This is going to be one that's going to be listed. So this one over here, this is 636. It's going to be against momentum. It has a max drawdown of 7.37, profitability of 50% probability, and profit factor is 1.987. So looking over here at the minimum criteria, this is going to be one of the listed entries. It's not going to be a target entry. So it's a listed entry because it has a minimum of 10% drawdown or a maximum of 10% drawdown. Right here it's 7%. Win rate is above 50, 50 or above, and the profit factor is above 1.5. The reason why it's not a target entry is because the win rate has to be above 55%, right? It's at 50 right here. So with that being the case, I will add this to my list. So again, this was 636, and I'll just show you guys here how I add it to my list. So 636, 836. Momentum is going to be against. Max drawdown is 7.37. Overall is 50%. And the profit factor is at 1.987. I have multiple screens, so I don't usually have to go back and forth like this. It's a lot faster if I'm just doing it by myself. But just to show you guys what I'm looking at, that's what I have there. So 1.987. So now looking at the buy and sell percentages, I'll go over here to trade analysis. It has a 42.86% for buys and then 53.85 for sells. So 42.86. And then for sells over here, it is 5385. And then looking at this here, there's obviously a higher percentage for sells, so my direction is going to be for a sell. And that's pretty much it. That's how I list my trades there, and that's how I look at them. And I go one by the minute to identify exactly, what entries I want to have listed on there. Yeah, Barack said, yeah. Yeah, by the way, she never cried on stream. Yeah, she's always like interested, right? She sees all the colors and I think she's just interested in like what we're doing here. She obviously wants to grab the keyboard. The one thing she does like is her little good luck cup here, huh? She always wants to grab it. All right, we're just waiting for Masij. I'll keep looking up entries here though. Oh yeah, no problem, Masij. There's no rush. When you're ready, just let me know, and then I'll transfer it over to you. I'm just gonna keep looking at possible entries here. This is gonna help me anyways because I gotta do this anyways. All right, so this one over here, this is another entry that's gonna be listed but not target. So again, like I said, the first thing I look for is the probability of the profitability on both directions, right? So it's 50% right there. Max drawdown is 8.10. Profit factor is 1.987. So with that being the case, and this is the minute after 8:37. Okay, so Masish said, that's right. Masish here is going to have to reschedule the session. He's having an issue with it. So yeah, Masish said, I'm going to have to delay it to Thursday because this could take an hour unless you're willing to wait 40 to 45 minutes, but you don't need to. Would everyone be okay with Thursday same time? Yeah, I think that'd be better because I don't think anybody's going to hang around for that long. Um, for the for it to set up. Hey, baby girl, you ready to go play? Yeah, no problem. All right, guys. So just a heads up, unfortunately, Masij is having issues with internet and connectivity, so we're gonna have to reschedule the explanation for Thursday. So I'm gonna take that off again, what I did earlier. Oops. I'm gonna take the title off so I don't get confused. Um, But all right, guys, we will do this on Thursday. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, we're gonna wrap this up for the day. If you guys want to rewatch this to see how I identified entries, you guys can see it on this replay. Here, I'll actually add that to the thing here. ID list. I'll just put ID list example. All right. All right, guys. I think that's it for today. Alina's ready to go play. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, today was a one win, one loss day, 1R. Um, but all right, I think that's it. So if you guys have any questions, hit me up. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the